What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with this My Hero Academia, Chapter 347 Live Reaction, Church of MHA, Season 3, Episode 8. How are y'all doing today? Coming at you for once on time, depending on how you perceive these streams as starting on time. Because believe it or not, they used to start when the chapter is released. So how y'all doing today? Let's get this popping in the Discord, get everybody to show up. I haven't practiced looking at the camera, so for those of you who are wondering if I'll be able to actually look at the right space today, the answer is we'll see. So let's go with everybody. Everybody wants to be a cat. Church is live. Air, Julian Burns, MK the Baby, Cameron Bailey, Lamar Arrington, okay, Austin Morgan. People pull up, drop those likes. Of course, make sure you show the stream support. Let's see. Yes, spam the emotes. I feel like the members don't abuse their emotes enough. You guys should be using those a lot more. Gets in, which since it's starting early, I'm sure a lot of people are shocked at this on time start, especially even bishops. Let's see. Believe it or not, Thomas, this is what it used to be on time. Yeah, they're supposed to be an on time. I just usually start late. Hey, that one guy. All right. Let's see. Yes, that weird. All right. Let's see. Chapter. Let's see. Do I want to start this chapter right now, or do I want to wait? There's only a couple of you here, so I'm putting this in your hands. Do you want to start the chapter now? See, this is what I was talking about with the camera. Do you want to start chapter now, or do we want to let people get in here? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Wait to 20. Brandon De La Cruz. Yep. Let's see. Tiger Blaster. Okay. The classics are coming in, especially since this is starting early for a lot of people who have gotten used to the later starts. Whoops. Way I look at it is we'll go like another 3-4 minutes, and then if that, let's see, we're at 10 likes. Maybe I want to reward everybody for being here on time. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing the chapter. I want to do the chapter. I'm excited. We left off at too good of a point last week. We're doing this, and people will go back and watch that part. All right. Chapter opens up. Let's see. Hands everywhere. They do seem to reach out, get Bakugo. We don't see the rabbit anywhere. Let's see. Platforms. What the hell is... So this is already going left field. All right. So one of the things that I want to talk about real quick is that just looking at the first page, for those of you who have watched the movie Akira or have seen the movie Akira, and I'm sure when I get around to finishing the manga, it'll be that way at the end of the manga too, even though the movie came out before the end of the manga, but whatever. Um, in my solo review, I compared what is likely to be Deku's fight against Shigaraki here to what happened in Akira in the final conflict, where they had a giant fight at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics stadium that had been wasted or leveled. Or so the idea that UA is going to be for My Hero Academia what it was, what the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Stadium is for Akira, is the premise here. This idea that Shigaraki and Deku having their final showdown, not in this functional UA fortress, but likely in this fortress after it's fallen from the sky. That's what I'm kind of expecting here. Anyway, getting back to it though, what the hell is this creepy crap? Hands everywhere. Phantom Thief, I'm still staring. Erasure is still in effect. Is it not a quirk then? This is simple growth. Hey, I was right. Just my body on its own. The same way my hair or nails grow longer. The body must adapt to ever. Yo, this is literally what I was talking about. Him becoming one with his quirks, them being infused with his body. So like this growth, him being able to generate, being able to manipulate his body is actually his quirk. I talked about this last week. We talked about this reaching singularity point and how reaching that singularity would allow someone to be like one with their quirk or with their abilities a bit more, and that would lead to him being more effective. And here we are. Anyway, the same way my hair or nails grow longer, the body must adapt to ever-evolving quirks. This new form that humanity acquires is the next step for a superpowered society in line with the singularity proposed by Garaki. You people who sweep it all under the rug and shy away from the inevitable future couldn't possibly comprehend. Okay, see, so what's funny about this is that I remember people were like, she can't die, she's got to use those, the arm, and she's alive, sure, but the fact that the arm was destroyed is kind of a good thing for you to keep in the back of your head, that like, just because somebody gets an item or an upgrade, or especially something like a prosthetic limb, does not mean it's gonna be like super important. I need some spares. All right, new gauntlet. Dynamite, we formed this team for this fight, so get your act together. The name's Great Explosion Murder Got Dynamite, and you got a lot of nerve lecturing me. Huh? You're kind of sassy, aren't you? Oh yeah, you want some of this bunny gal? Stay focused. Your reply, you want some too? Your reply ought to be sure. I mean, to be fair, at least in the case of Bakugo, he's a ranged, mid-range combatant, and the growth was more or less like an extension. Yeah, it's kind of like the critical limit breaks, because in D Gray Man, you remember how the innocents eventually become one with the blood, and then you infuse with it, and then it becomes like a part of your blood, innocence. And then we got at least 2 of those with Conda, and I can't remember the girl's name right now, but she had the lucky shoes or whatever, and then eventually they infused with their legs, and she was the first one introduced to us. She was dope. I got D Gray Man volumes over there. Anyway, back off the subject of D Gray Man, back on MHA. Read D Gray Man. But she was trying to go melee this dude without even like assessing the situation. At least he was at a distance that should have been theoretically safe while moving in. So anyway, swear, Sensei, I swear I'm doing it right. I haven't slipped up in any way. I know that. You're good. Those hands though. Eraser, Midoriya's making contact. Midoriya, damn it, Class A, what are you doing? Where are you? I'm sorry. Himiko Toga nabbed me. I'm on Okuto Island. Requesting a warp. Whoa. We have to warp Midoriya back to us. No, we can't. Monoma can only activate 1 copied quirk at a time. Switching from Erasure to Warp Gate to retrieve Midoriya would take around 10 seconds. Eraser, you've realized it, haven't you? Those innumerable spreading hands. If all of them are capable of activating this decay, then the moment Erasure is undone, we're finished. Oh boy. Again, this is Monoma. Well, we know it's Monoma, Hori. We read. We don't just kind of read MHA, we read MHA here. Bakugo is very, exactly. Bakugo is every range he needs to be. And Lena, thank you. Do you think that's his hyper regeneration? If you think about it, he had missing fingers. Is he able to regen old injuries now? Yeah, I think that part of his achieving quirk singularity already is him slowly accruing more of that hyper regeneration and that becoming more intrinsic to his actual physical functions on a natural way. So, except thanks to the quirks and like being a quirk user and the way utilizing quirks and being more aware of and cognizant of your body is, he's more conscious of his body's healing now and thus can further stimulate it by growing things. So yeah, that's how I'm looking at this. Until then, we must strive for victory without one for all. Hell yeah. Sure, Genus. I mean, hell yeah. Sun Eater. See, and they put a pretty small team on Shigaraki, if I'm being honest, which you can look at this as one of two ways, which is this is purely the result of them, or there's three ways. You can like this is them being understaffed, but this is like a good team, which you could look at as Bakugo, Sun Eater, and Nejire specifically being seen as like top 10 hero candidates. Like if you would look at it in like time, not factoring in popularity, but like their skill sets, because this is 6 people for Shigaraki. And like, yes, you can, but you could also look at it as well, Deku's just that valuable. But when you look at this is a pretty small team for just Shigaraki, even if you add in Eraserhead and Monoma being, removed in manual. But this like straight up fighting force, small. So that's a lot of respect being placed on the students. So yeah, let me get back in there though. Let's see. Meanwhile, 200 kilometers offshore. All right, so it took All Might 30 seconds to travel 5 kilometers and fight multiple Nomu. So from that perspective, if they're 200 kilometers away, 5 times 20 is 100, so 20 times 30, 30 seconds, 10 minutes. So if, assuming that Deku were capable of reaching All Might levels of speed for real right now, it would theoretically take him 20 minutes to get from Okuto Island to where they are now with the UA Flying Fortress. However, we can inherently shave off a couple minutes due to the fact that All Might also fought the Nomu and coordinated with the rest of his allies before heading off to that to where All For One was. You could argue that took about 15 seconds. So you could really argue that he could travel at 5 kilometers per 15 seconds, which would mean 20 kilometers per minute. And if you're looking at 20 kilometers per minute, then it's just 10 minutes. But that would be after this fight here would be taken care of, that Deku would be able to run and get there. And that would require him to use multiple bursts of faux 100% Fajin, in addition to possibly being having his gravity negated for the entire duration. So quick maths. Yeah. What other anti-tuber that's on MHA is doing real time quick maths for you like that? A southern island with wide shoals, gorgeous views of the ocean, and a number of resorts. But the crown jewel of the island is Okuto Aquarium, which attracts both domestic and international tourists. The aquarium's director is none other than Kugo Sakamata, aka Gang Orca, incoming. Big fish. These guys got major upgrades since Jakku. All right, so this thing is looking like some Lovecraftian floaty tentacle monster ass dude. Did Awful One stuff them with even more quirks? Yes, without question, he gave them more quirks. I don't even know like how this is a question for the homie. Like, dog is out here with extra quirks. He ain't gonna play around. Like, Awful One may have gotten cocky. He may have gotten a little complacent, but he's smart enough to still make sure his Nomu's known. No. Let's get back to that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Did Awful One stuff them full of even more quirks? Flash. All right, so Moonfish is back. Don't forget the escaped cons. Stay frosty, boys. Froppy, you good? That attack was even able to reach our rear guard. Yes, but that shockwave carried away Gravity and Deku. What did Sensei say, Deku? I got to get there on my own. Things must be pretty dicey if they can't even use Work Gate. Then we better hurry and, all right. Toga's moving in for the assassination attack. Whoa. Don't go, Izuku. I love you, so please don't go. Toga, she came at me with a knife and danger sense didn't trigger. It's not recognizing the threat she poses as an actual danger. I can't believe someone like her really exists, that she's made it this far in life. What exactly do you want from me? And then she says, for you to be my boyfriend, which I like seeing the Nomu or whatever in the background, just like being flung through the air, whether that's a hero or Nomu, whatever, just you see blood and all kinds of stuff in the background, and then you get this shot of her trying to get Deku to be with her. And that's because when she hurts people, she does so out of pure, genuine affection. In short, her brain is built different. Yep. Yo. So, okay. First off, let me get the bishops up in here because I'm sure they got a lot to say about this. So, first off, what I am going to say is this confession, I know had people heated. I just know that it was the end of the world for some viewers or readers, I should say. Not this guy. Mostly because this is 110% within character. Like, people have to understand something. Toga, while riding the back of Makia, was like, I'm real sad about my friend dying. And damn, look at civilian number 74 that just got kicked. And that car just ran and landed on that granny that was trying to save her grandbaby and all that other stuff. But that don't matter. I'm sad my friend died. Ooh, look, this girl I have a crush on. I want to go talk to her and make sure that they wouldn't do anything bad to me. Bye, y'all. I know we're in the middle of doing the world's greatest terrorist attack in like 30 years, but I ain't got time for that. I got to go talk to my friends that don't actually see me as a friend, but I'm going to change that. Believe me. So anything less than this battlefield confession right here from Toga would be kind of bullshit. Like, let's be real. Like, come on.
Nah, look. People were talking about it, but everybody knew what time it was at the same time. Because it's like, you can't complain about this for Toga. It's Toga.
You knew what time it was when she fucking grabbed that nigga and she seen no malice and Deku couldn't sense it.
I swear to God, I already knew what it was. I knew what it was off rip. I was like, yeah, she just want to talk to him, see him. That's literally all it is.
Like she did with Ochiko. How did you think it was going to be different when she's in love with both of them niggas? Like,
the one complaint I saw that got traction was this one tweet. It was like, I'm done taking this manga seriously, or I'm tired of reading this manga, something like that. It was something similar to that, and the comments and quotes were all like, "But it's Toga though. What you expected?" I'm like, facts.
Like, come on, nigga. It's the one character you should have known is a fucking yandere psychopath. And she act like herself, so that's an issue. Okay.
So in character.
I guess niggas need to jump out their pocket, huh?
One of the things that, and like, I'm glad you're saying that, because one of my things that I've noticed is that My Hero is a series that keeps people in character, even when it might, quote, lower reader enjoyment. Mm-hmm. Which is why the Aizawa Black story has to be in Vigilantes and it's not in like the actual main story, because the thing that would trigger that would either be giving us like a retroactive dump, like it would have been like, here's the Kurogiri reveal, and then you're like, wow, this is really heavy and intense, and then it's like, here's why Aizawa was crying, and then it's like, oh, well, I kind of wish this story would have come before that. But cool,
bro. I ain't trying to hear that. That was eight chapters in Vigilantes, dog. Like, niggas would have been complaining if we had 8 full chapters in the Aizawa backstory.
Okay, Julian Burns, I know for a fact that you are a long-term time viewer. So one of the things that I will tell you is that Tarnish on a previous stream told me I was bugging because I proposed the idea of Bakugo not activating Deku's danger sense during the Deku Far From Home arc. I was like, Bakugo tracking Deku down and trying to like launch an attack or like fight him or like trying to like grab him to bring him home wouldn't trigger danger sense because he would be able to do it purely for with the intent of saving Deku. And Tarnish will admit he thought I was kind of wild in the reach.
I can't confirm. I can't confirm. I said he was bugging and we went back and forth on that. And then that was right before chapter 320 came out, where Deku himself confirmed that the reason it wasn't activated was because of Class A. So after that, I was like, yeah, I get how this quirk works now. Because it might as well just be called malice intent detection. Because if it's dangerous, but the person doesn't consider it danger, it's not going to activate. Like, it won't activate if they don't consider it as danger.
It's funny. It's funny because then we talk about that for 7 Deadly Sins with Escanor. It was like, and Estrosi was like, why isn't my fucking commandment working? It's like, why would I, like, he's like, you're beneath me. You're weaker than me. I don't feel any, like, hatred towards you. I don't feel any, like.
Yeah, and then.
I felt petty.
Another good example was when the civilians was wilding. The civilians was tweaking on Deku, and that's just started going crazy. I was like, yeah, this is just because these civilians are not dangerous, but their malice is so strong that it's going crazy.
Exactly. Hey, Karen Bailey, at the end of the day, we not going to keep judging on the past. It is what it is. Vigilantes is not in the main series. It's not going to be. Like, the Dazal backstory not going to be. It is where it's at. At the end of the day, it's quite that simple. Like, we can go back and forth. It should have been. What's done is done. And I guarantee you, niggas would have been complaining if we had 8 chapters of Dazal backstory, because it was not all hands. Like, 8 chapters right before the Kurogiri shit. I mean, his intention was to make an entire universe and expand it. They do this all the time in comics. So you really can't say, oh, he can't do that because it's a manga. Well, he said read Vigilantes.
That would have been so out of place.
He said read Vigilantes, read Vigilantes, read Vigilantes. Like, the same thing with spinoffs in comics, which was literally what he said he was aiming for. So, like, I mean, he used his ploy. He used his tech. He said, I set this up, so let me use this to my advantage to make it easier on myself.
That shit would have been so out of place because, like, we assuming that would have came during the Kurogiri reveal, right? That was right before the war.
Exactly. like it was like, where would you have put that at, literally, and make it make fully sense? Like, just place it somewhere. Don't add nothing else. Don't like, just place it somewhere. It wouldn't have fit, bro, especially when it came out. Look who's here, y'all, after a long while.
Fonzo.
Hey guys, what up? When I saw the stream was on, I couldn't resist to join because no one had to play basketball. I had to play basketball from 5 till 6:30 because after to 6 even because I have at 6:30 I have to be at the Poetry One event for business purposes. So I thought to myself, damn, I wouldn't be able to go on stream. But look at this, my man started to stream when the episode came out. So. Yeah, here I am. Should we get list for 10 minutes if I have to do? Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so how did the Ponzu birthday go?
Oh, you didn't forget. I was on the. Oh, it feels good. Literally, when it was my birthday, I had like a really difficult time because when I last year's when I'm about to around my birthdays, like 2 weeks or 1 month before it, I started reminiscing about how I lived the last few years, thinking what I did bad, how is my situation and everything, and I was kind of low. So when I went to the Discord, I saw nobody say happy birthday to me. I was like kind of sad, but still happy that you remembered that. Thank you, man. Really, when you post it, I really felt good. It felt good. So yeah, family. I partied quite a bit in my home, in my student city, and that's what I did. Right now, I'm trying to focus on myself. I'm working on a webtoon for the moment with my artists. So yeah, keeping things great. And My Hero Academia is like, I'm just around the moment, I don't know where Horikoshi is going, so I'm curious to see where it's gonna bring us in the few weeks, because it feels like clear, like that's the end of the series, but feels like it is too soon. I don't know why. It's like things are getting rushed. I don't know why. That's the thing that I had from the last chapters. You know what I mean? And even as when I was reading like um what I was happy was thinking about, just like last chapter, what Shigaraki said, that he came back. Like when he said the word "me," I was really like proud. I was like, okay, he came back, and today he's more talking like he's like, yeah, like he's all for one. That's really weird, because the thing about saying that this is the next stage about humanity stuff, like it's not like Shigaraki stuff to say. You know what I mean? It was more about to liberate the old civilization, bring it to the new age. But right now, he's talking about humanity, even like about what the signification about being what is being human. So it goes well in the thought process. I think so, but still, like, we are missing a link how we get to there, to go to the thought process of Shigaraki. So I'm questioning myself if we get a flashback, or if he will explain himself. Because yeah, I just want to know more about his state of mind. And yeah, Toga being Toga is just perfect for me, because this chapter really.
So
when you have the
hold on, Hunter. There's something I want to say about what you said. First off, we got to say shout out to John Hunt, who's the letterer for MHA, because you're correct when you say that, like, when he's talking about, like, you know who was supposed to be in control. But one of the things that, I mean, I think you noticed it too during the Star and Strike fight, where they kind of randomly just switch. And so that's happening in this conversation too here. And you can tell, because if you look closer, the typesetting, the font is slightly different between him saying in the next step of the future proposed by Dr. Garaki. If you look, it's mostly straight line, and then it gets a little wobbly when you get to the "you people who sweep it all under the rug and shy away from the inevitable." So it's like when he's talking about, and the thing about this is that monologue thing, if you think back to how he talked about the Nomu, this aspect of Shigaraki's personality has been there for a long time, but it also overlaps with All for One. And that's an aspect of All for One's personality. When you think back to, like, when he starts listing off all the quirks he's stacking up just so he can punch All Might in the face, it's kind of like that same energy. And so it's like, that's like one of the, like, master, like, student moments. So, like, when he's monologuing all about the way he's developed, because that partially pulls from the knowledge base of All for One with what the surgery was doing and the science behind it and what they were trying to achieve, he starts to have more of that All for One type setting and that cadence. And then it transitions over back into the primarily, Shigaraki font. So what you were feeling confused about was actually you just understanding that there was a switching of his personalities within that dialogue and bouncing back really quickly.
So from your standpoint, you're saying that Shigaraki is still fighting against All for One's
their personality traits are still weaving in and out over who's dominant. They're not, like, completely melded to each other.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, really? Such a fine detail, but tells a lot. I like that. Okay, let me see. Last chapter. Yes, I remember when he said me. It was when he said me. It was more about more like how can I the bold, when he was talking like in the past chapter. What are those? Going to be so proud of you, your toys, but not for long. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
let's get this out the way first of all, because Honestly, this is absolute travesty that this event took place. And I honestly cannot believe that we single-handedly Miss Ponzu's birthday. What? You didn't let me know. Yo, we had coffee shout out, coffee at OG, but we couldn't even miss Bishop's birthday. Oh, fly on my watch. First of all, I asked Archbishop to take full responsibility and forget that it was not known that it was Mponzu's birthday. Everyone in the chat, give a damn shout out, give a fucking like. Mponzu is one of our oldest and greatest members of this church, who's a shining bright personality, and I always love hearing him talking. He's finally back here this week. Can y'all believe we forgot? Well, you know what? We're gonna have to make it up with some shout outs and some likes in the chat. Please give a round of applause for our Bishop Mponzu.
Oh man, this guy, this is why I love you so much. Oh, thank you, man. The most important thing is like the stream. You're 41 people, so like we have 35 like. Please show your love. Just add the numbers because I am. Without you guys, I would have never been here. I would never be here and maybe never have been where I am right now. I'm more confident about myself when I'm talking about my ideas because I was here on this stream. So yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for giving me the confidence and making me believe in myself. So yeah, thank you guys. Aniki.
He only showed you what you already had in yourself.
Tarnish. He kept calling everybody on every bishop, every priest, every fan of our Anikis. Thank you. Because today I'm quite good.
Happy to hear it. Man, I'm just glad you are. Oh, yep, see, there you go. Hey, don't forget the M in Ponzu.
Thank you.
Oh, don't. He gets very mad. Don't.
Here, I'm putting the actual spelling in the chat. It is.
He might time you out if you don't.
Whoa, beware. We already late, man. Beware. We already late, man. I don't know now.
Oh, damn. Thanks, man. Yeah, the M is there for a reason, guys.
You see, he out here talking.
Love y'all. All the ladies, all the men, he just said, love you guys. I wish you the best, really, guys. I wish you the best. Be great at what you do. Take your time. If you're in a bad time, think that you have to think that life is like ebb and flows. It's like the rivers, like the sea. So at one moment you will have a good time. Don't be hopeless, for sure, guys. Thank you for all the love. Really, thank you.
Hey, we all appreciate you, Ponzu, for real.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Right by the side,
what do y'all think Deku's answer is going to be next chapter? Y'all think he's going to just lock it in, like right now?
It's gonna be interesting to see what he say because this is a fully like.
Bro, why does Toga keep? Yo, Toga always sets herself up. Like, I love her, but she acts like the worst things at the worst times, and then if you don't say what she wants you to say, then you just dead to her.
Because you got it.
Okay, so that's why Toga, like one of the things that people talk about is how Toga seems to be like a good representation of a neurodivergent person. And I kind of agree with that because, especially
you're gonna have to use for niggas like me. You're going to just keep it blank. You know, y'all can't be using these.
You could look at it as mental illness, like having a mental illness, or being like autistic, leaning more into mental illness with like a dash of the way, like because of that mental illness, not properly having like the social skills necessary, because she just doesn't understand the social cues and the circumstances around her well enough to go, wait, this isn't the time for this conversation.
Well, I mean, can you blame her? She been on a run since she was like, let's say 12. So it's been like 5 years, 6 years.
In middle school.
Yeah, in middle school, like 5, 6 years, she's been on her own. going around doing this, that, and the other. And even then, she wasn't even living her true life or her true self. Because when she did, as you seen, what you doing with that bird? You sicko, demon child. And she was just living with a mask on. So once that broke, she started living her quote unquote normal life, which doesn't add up with everybody else. It's like, I mean, it's like it's important to have social skills when you're growing up. It's just important to put kids with other kids. Even when you train an animal, you got an animal. A lot of times it's important to get, when they coming up, it's important to get them out there and seeing other dogs and other animals, cats, or whatever you have, because sometimes you just take a dog, a motherfucker since birth ain't never been at the house or associated with another dog, and then you take it to the park, it's not going to know how to act properly. Because, it's just getting just out there for the first time. And if you raise it right, you give it the social skills, you prep it up for what it's about to do, then you'll have that. That's why some people are fucking like, awkward. Like people don't have social skills because they couldn't make friends when they were younger. They shut themselves in. Maybe don't speak to anybody. The fuck you supposed to know about context clues, sarcasm, et cetera, when you don't have a conversation with people in real life. Which is her, because she been on, who the fuck was she supposed to talk to? Her victims? When she was sucking their blood out their body?
Yes,
I don't think that's a real conversation right there. You ask me, because what I'm gonna say is
the conversation. Hey, you know that I love you, huh?
Yeah, it's like
silence.
Now listen.
You really had good blood.
Like it's like, listen. I mean, now it's gonna be a difference. Like, I mean, I had a sexy vampire sucking my body. It's gonna be, I'm not gonna say something that should be in a regular conversation. You know what I'm saying? And if I had a nigga vampire sucking my blood, I'm definitely not gonna say something you should say to somebody in a regular conversation. So it's like, well, where is the time for her talking? Like, other than her victims, she on the run for her whole life.
Yeah, Ochako might just steal Toga next week, like first page.
Oh God, Toga might steal Ochako low key. I mean, Ochako might steal Toga. Shit, I said that backwards.
Yeah. But yeah, but literally that girl wanted to steal her man. We were like in a beaches fight, maybe in next chapter.
I need that. I need to throw her hands.
Knock her out. She's gonna be like, she's gonna knock her out. She's gonna be like, Deco, I got this. She's gonna be like, wait, but I got this.
I got this.
And then when she's looking away, Toga gonna stab her ass in the hand. She's like, I'm done with you. I'm done with you, nigga. You already gave me your answer. You rejected me.
Handle that thought. Let me handle that thought. That's what she's gonna say, man.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Toga might just spill the beans next chapter. She might be like, I know Ochako likes you. I know you guys like each other.
I know the way she looks. I know
because she drinks her blood.
I know she looks and gets that up. Like, man.
Here's the thing. I almost asked on Twitter how people would feel about Ochako's confession basically coming from Toga. And her being like, this is, and like Ochako basically, this literally is not the time for this. That you need to go.
Just thinking about it, it can be really interesting for later in the story. But even the fact that we know that because she drank the blood of both of them, she has because she can feel what the other feel. If I remember right.
What do you mean?
That she can feel the feelings of Ochako to Izuku.
Oh, well, she says stuff like that. Like, I can feel blah 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 blah.
Yeah, because she drinks as well. I don't know if it's true or not, but still, so she can, because she drinks the one of Deku, but also the one of Mademoiselle here. So then she knows, since it's like a long part of the story, that they love each other. She can play that.
Yeah, in theory, she can use one for all if she drinks Deku's blood.
Her body won't handle it.
Well, it might not. It shouldn't have a stockpile, but we don't know how much it would copy, if it would copy the same way Monoma's does. Because if it's copying, because like Monoma seems to copy and replicate the functions of a quirk, but due to the fact, but like because she actually ingests and replicates the DNA stuff, she might have actual access to the stockpile, depending on how the stockpile works, whether it's just data encoded into the DNA of the quirk, or if it's just something, or if it's a bit more mystical, like magic power system type.
So let me address this. y'all are really weird with this, and like I understand, but y'all really weird with this when it comes to something. Let me address this right here. Just because there's a low page count does not automatically assume Horikoshi is suffering or he's
yeah. I was I was like, yeah, I'm worried for my boy. So 13, like, but he didn't need that many pages this chapter.
Look, he did exactly what he needed to do. And let me tell you why it's only 13 pages. Look at the first page. Look at the second page. Look at the third page. Then again, look at literally. Do you not see the amount of fucking detail in each individual hand? Like, man, that don't take 2 seconds, bro. Like, that page had to take like a day's worth, like, even for him, or like majority of his day count. Like, look at when every time y'all talk about, oh, it's only like 13 pages or 14 pages, look at a 2-3 double spreads, which basically extends it by like 3-4 extra pages. So it's not really that many, or like, look at the detail in this thing. And plus, this is more so of a transitional chapter 2, just to set up from one point to the next. So
that's what I was gonna say. It's transitional. Like, we switching battlefields entirely.
So we didn't need like 15 pages. Like, we need like 17 pages focused on like what else would there have been to fit in stage 1 plus stage 2, because you see the cliffhanger he ended on here as the follow-up next chapter. That goes, then the next chapter will be the main point of that, and so on and so forth. Like, y'all know how this goes. Like, just because
I'm gonna say this stuff. This is more of a joke, but y'all saying that this is ending soon, and we getting 13-page chapters already. He taking his time.
You know,
I'll make sure to do it just right, and that's how you want it. And if I'm being honest, I have yet to really feel like things are too fast. But I specifically like why I like MHA is partially how efficiently it's written, while still giving you enough information that you just have to go, oh yeah, this. I think it rewards thinking more than a lot of manga do, so I don't know, that's just me.
Speaking of which, I'm glad we're on this topic, so I'm about to address this once and for all. Tarnish, first of all, because we usually have VC Friday. But I don't know why I didn't run it up, because I guess I wasn't there. But I told you I just run it. But Tarnish.
Yeah, honestly, I was sleeping at that time, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was expecting to wake up and to see the shit popping and enjoying it.
Yeah, so y'all busy today. My mom brother's birthday, so I was out. So,
yeah, I already seen that. I was like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah. So to address this right here, last week we had a pointless discussion, and I told niggas it don't matter. And does anybody know what that discussion was about? It was completely pointless arguing this shit.
Mirko dying.
Exactly.
Crazy. Like, it's crazy how she lived though. I ain't gonna lie. That shit was kind of
I said she was gonna get maimed more, but she didn't. But obviously, you said what?
I said that shit was kind of weak. Like, damn, she lost both her limbs and then got them right back. I was like, all right. But you know what? It's still only 6 niggas fighting.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, like they need all the manpower they can get. But I guess though, like I thought she wouldn't get more maimed. But in regards to this, anybody complaining about it, I got the smallest violin in the world. Word to SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs. Because I told y'all niggas, do not get ahead of yourselves betting money like 100% without a shadow of doubt. She dead. If Horikoshi don't kill, then that nigga a chump. It's like, nah, nigga. Nah, because y'all wanted to play the same game with Torino. Oh, I ain't see him dead, so he not dead. And then y'all did the same shit with Midnight. Y'all was working Vic was acting real goofy with Midnight now. Ye was acting a bum fool. Talking about, oh, she could have survived. She could have slept them and took them out. I'm like, nigga, it's like 3 advisors. She fell from 50 feet in the air. You broke your bones, dog. Like, nigga, like, yeah, she could have taken them on if she was like 100% healthy. You think she's gonna take on 3 top dogs?
Even if she was at full health, I'm saying that wouldn't have been a good fight for her.
Like, come on now. Like, it's like, nigga, come on now, really? And then, but y'all they like to play that game when they like it. They want to use that argument to use like, oh, I didn't see a dead body yet, so she's not dead. Like, nigga. So y'all should have kept the same energy with her. I told y'all don't be betting money. I'm like, she may got this fight to lie. This one matter to me. Niggas was like arguing this, that, and other. Like,
that's why specifically every time I said she was dead, I said she looked dead to me. Like I think she's dead.
Look, you know what I'm gonna say about that death thing? If those weren't prosthetics, she would probably be dead. So she would be bleeding out way too hard.
But I still take the W off that because I kept telling people that her legs and arm were destroyed, and people kept saying no, but it was like, nah, they was.
There was blatant impact lines, and then there was specifically the spiky white thing that goes up like this on both limbs to indicate that there was an intense scraping.
Bro, like you can literally see her fucking foot falling off. You could have argued the arm if you wanted, but the foot was off. That's no discussion. Like it's literally on a page. You could circle this shit. It wasn't no discussion about that.
She lost a knee. For what I remember, she lost a knee and an arm though.
Yeah, she lost that shit again. And you know what? This is actually smart as shit, which I didn't see coming. Them niggas had spares, which is smart as shit, honestly. Like you don't go in the battle with one clip. Honestly, you go into war into a fight, you don't just take one clip.
But if anything, Bakugo needs a spare too, because if you peep on the first page, his bracer got destroyed. Someone needs to pass him a new one.
Guys, what I think more hilarious is more about that how she's similar to Bakugo character wise.
Mm-hmm. They got more time.
The way that I love the way that how they put how the relationship between Bakugo and how they interact with each other. The interaction between her, Miss Bilko, and Bakugo. I really like the interaction about how they sure are really competitive. And the more I think about when, because I'm watching a lot of basketball videos at the moment, it feels like really when you see Michael Jordan and Kobe like interacting about stuff, like they can't keep like this showing that they have to which one has the bigger dick. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I really love that interaction. I just wanted to say this, but yeah.
Wait, listen. This is what we're gonna have to clarify. Poetry. I don't know what y'all talking about. Wasn't addressed. Midnight's death wasn't addressed. They literally saw a dead body and held her hand, her dead corpse, and we're all crying. Like, I don't know how that wasn't addressed. Like, it was addressed pretty much. So they had a whole full reaction to seeing their dead teacher body, and even in the hospital, they were still more dead. They were still.
Hold up. Did anybody bring up Crust after the war?
Man, I don't know. I
think the shit out of them, but
I don't want to mess with that. But
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about in universe. As I always said, one thing about him after he died, and then nobody brought him up really again after that in the story. Too many people. Did anybody say anything about Majestic dying?
Nobody mentioned that nigga saving everybody's life. Real talk, like
nobody knows that nigga.
Bruh, he knows.
Majestic was a top 10 hero at one point.
He had the power to be like, bro. He just.
Nobody knows that nigga.
I know we cared about Midnight, but like too many people died that day that didn't get.
Yeah, too many niggas died.
That's what I'm trying to tell niggas. Like, bro, it's war. This is real. Like, niggas was talking about a funeral.
Niggas to die.
Niggas was talking about niggas was talking about a funeral. Nigga, you don't have a war-torn country with superpower prisoners breaking out, and we got time to go out to a park and have a funeral. Nigga, they broke out the same fucking night and started going stupid crazy.
That was hard, by the way.
And it's like the kids even like the kids that need to have a reaction had a reaction.
No cap puns, but that shit was crazy, bro. Like right after the war, you bust open Tartarus. And
not just Tartarus, like you bust open the most dangerous prison along with like 16, like 6 other prisons.
Literally,
the convicts are still here. We just saw Moonfist this chapter. He's still kicking.
Still kicking. He fucking making great work.
Tony, just think about how he started chapter. He started with the intro about what Tartarus was in general. You know what I mean?
Listen, bro,
just started that intro. Sorry?
the most dangerous people were held in that prison. Like the whole exposition. First page, like.
That nigga, what does the awful one vestiges? First thing that he does is literally we're gonna take my main muddy from there and we're going to put some cows. You think that literally what he said? The chapter was before was, do you think the hero will rest? Nah, I won't give you time to rest, niggas. You're gonna suffer. I went to Tartarus. Man, hey, bro.
Hey, Daniel. Yeah. Daniel said we did hear Deku mention that Dictator got captured by Crust during the bloodless surrender case 5 years ago.
It made Crust's power was making shields, so it kind of made sense that like every attack he was like, no, encased in shields, no, right. More shields, no.
They told Fool making a good point about where's the energy for La Brava. Or really, the only reason people really complain about character not being relevant back in the story is the case because they don't sexualize her as much. Hey, man.
Look, that spade. It's the same thing that like when people were like, "Oh, if Mirko's dead, Horikoshi's a terrible writer. He can't write women and he misogyny." It is purely a people get attached to like if somebody wants to sexualize a character. Assume that if that character dies, it will be considered bad writing, especially if that character is a woman.
Bro, what? No, let's not even backtrack on that one, please, because you know what?
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that. You know what we can talk about though? The fact that if this nigga uses decay through those fingers, UA is gone.
Bro, he could have destroyed that shit. He could have destroyed that shit with one hand. Now. Bro, ain't gonna be a single thing left.
Bro, he destroyed one of the main buildings in the first page.
With just the brute force of the big ass Akira arm alone.
UA is gone. UA is confirmed gone before this arc is over.
And East, I don't know, were you watching when I was talking about it during the reading about how like this whole battlefield is likely gonna be collapsing?
No, about the stadium, basically like the stadium, how it was Akira. Yeah, definitely. I felt that for real.
That just confirmed it for me.
This one to be something.
Yeah, I like how they changed Genus's line in the officials because Genus was kind of getting clowned. Genus was getting clowned in the scans. I'm not gonna lie, because in the scans he said something along the lines of, "Who cares if we don't have one for all? I say we stop him right here, right now."
Yeah, bro.
I like the official line way better because
he sounds like less of an idiot.
That man wilding in the scans. He was wilding. He was moving like Miracle. He was moving like Miracle last chapter in the scans.
See, here's my thing, right? Is that Genus is like the leader of this particular section, and I can't be the only one who feels like he shouldn't be.
Honestly,
I don't think so either. I don't think he was the right call. Like, low key, I think like Genus should be here, like, but he shouldn't be the leader. I think Hawks should be here, to be honest.
So
he's better suited for Endeavor off one.
Hawks is just
you think so? With how he tried to snipe him and he was like, "Damn, I can't do shit."
My thing is that he tried to cut his head off. If he had like blitzed him and cut off a limb, we would have already off one has regen, but if he would have actually like done like a drive-by and spun the block on his ass, that would have been enough to like buy time.
Well, you know what? Let's be fair and give them credit where credit is due. They did have Deku here.
Yeah, so they were supposed to be right.
This was supposed to be down a shitter for Shigaraki already. Although if Shigaraki pulled up with this, then he would have to way combat Deku extra hard again. But this was supposed to be Deku here. He can put Shigaraki down in the dirt, 100%, whatever he need to take it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I keep it a full stack right now. Deku is my boy. I love my boy Izuku. But if he was here right now, I don't know what he would be doing against this attack.
Oh God, like you can't black whip that shit.
He would be running through the hands, jumping off them, and black whipping the build up Fajin charges.
That fight gonna be crazy when it happened, but by the time he get here, Erasure might be done already. So that on top of the quirks, I don't know.
No. You know what the biggest question of all time for to be for this entire arc? Deku's over 100 miles away. How the fuck is this nigga supposed to get back?
I did the math.
Without a cut Deku combo.
I mean, bro. Like how? Like he gonna have to she gonna have to float that nigga. He float himself, and he just gonna have to jet stream 5 boost at 50% max.
We're about to get one of the craziest. We're about to get one of the craziest feats ever, and I love it.
Like I'm so like it's like Anki said, like bro. First of all, I don't even know. We don't know where you at. It's in the mainland. It's like one of the islands, like mainlands of Japan, on its own. Nigga, he 200 like bro. That's like hundreds of miles off the coast in the water in the middle of the ocean, nigga.
That's farther. Bro, that's farther than Maki. That's farther than the distance Maki crossed in the war by far.
I did the math earlier in the stream. I explained it like with hard math. It can take him 10 minutes, assuming he's moving at the same speed All Might was able to move at, like anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes, assuming he's as fast as All Might was at Kamino or capable of generating speed on that level. Due to him being able to remove his weight, that should actually allow him to go faster than All Might was able to, even though you could also argue that drag and other stuff comes into play there. But the easiest way I can see this happen, the only way I can see this really going is if he makes it a point to not travel like All Might, but travel like Bakugo. And that he's going to have to run, do 45% running, jump, run, make sure he's like clenching his hands the entire time, and then jump and do like a super jump with full 100%, and then use a full 100% like to like rocket boost himself further with like a multi-finger Air Force, like it's a rocket launch off to just keep blasting himself forward. That's like if he was using Delaware Smash Air Force in different waves at 100% to propulse himself.
But this is gonna be crazy. Yeah, I hope he like Deku X-in while he's going over there, because it's gonna take him a while to get there. Like
it's gonna take him a minute. He's gonna be
more than 10 minutes is dangerous. I don't think they could last that long. I'll keep it a buck.
Hey man,
I don't that long.
That's why he basically has to do the like building up and using air steps. Like he can use float to run, like use float and then propulse himself by like kicking with Air Force smashes on his legs and build up. But he's gonna have to. I mean, but every Air Force smash he does could be used to build up speed too.
I pray that somebody on Twitter does the math, bro, like and post the chart, like how far it actually is, because that I want to see if he has to pass other battlefields, like if he has to go through Kamino maybe, like and see shit going on.
You see, it's so funny because you know what? It's funny you can say that. So if anybody hasn't read Tokyo Ghoul, these are spoilers for the ending of Tokyo Ghoul Part 1, not read. All right. So I'll keep it as light as I can, but you may be spoilers. So funny enough that in the final battle of Part 1, Kaneki was running through different battlefields, but like he was on his MC time and shit. Like he clashed head to head with his rival the entire series, like who was on the opposite side. They was trying to understand each other. He clashed, beat him. He was saving his homies, this, that, and the other. Like, I mean, Homeboy was going hard, like with some classic MC shit, like pulling up, saving niggas at the last second, you know, changing the tides of every battlefield, only to get like, then he had to go through some shit. He got injured too much. He had to get a power up again. It was very justified though. But then like, that nigga got to that last stretch and he ran into the wrong nigga. Ooh, I mean, nigga. Bro. Talk about, he ain't even a word after that nigga.
Y'all peep how casually Deku said, I gotta get there on my own though. Like he seemed cool with it. Like, shit, I guess I gotta just fly, I guess.
And that nigga must got some plan, boy. Like,
Bro, I'm telling you, yo, listen, people say Deku Black don't matter. Listen, he spent a lot of time traversing in that arc. Go reread. Look at how he was jumping around.
Now my only swinging around. Yeah, but you know, my only thing about that is just like, all right, but how like, you know, like, it's one thing if we was on all in Japan and just crossed the like, you know, map or whatever. This shit is in the middle of the ocean somewhere. Like, how the fuck do we like?
He gotta fly, bro. He gotta use He gotta use Fajin and float. He gotta fly, bro. He has to fly.
He's gonna have to use Fajin and float in Air Force. What he's gonna need to do is use that to build up speed, and then as he gets closer and he's running out of instead of he has to conserve a bit of energy though, so that as he gets closer to a building, he can spin around it for hitting a lap, and then build some of that Fajin back up, and then keep doing that. So he's gonna basically be doing a bunch of swinging and flying, so he can get there.
Because Fajin has 2 charges. He can use both charges as crazy propel. Because Nagant, he only used 2 charges, one to get to overhaul and then one to swing back around to body her.
So he can do 2 charges. So I'm hoping there's islands in between that give him distance, because he gonna run out of charge by the time, if it's just straight ocean for miles on end.
Or he could do the good old run on water gimmick. Woo, that'd be crazy if he
my boys are running water, but we're gonna have to have a conversation for real. We're gonna have to have a real conversation if that's the case. I feel like, what? Go ahead.
Bro, East, I need you to gas these normal too, my nigga.
Nah, hold up. Oh, go glad. Shout out to Coyote. I told y'all niggas last week, boy, and 2 weeks ago, I said, bro, why is that normal sitting down like that? These niggas was just ready for you to pull up. And lo and behold, Deck ain't even do nothing yet. These niggas already stomping the fucking battlefield, nigga. These niggas bro, they tougher than the niggas at Jakku. They bro, they tougher than niggas at Jakku. They beating niggas' asses. I told y'all, stop playing with these normal.
At each battlefield, there's at least one normal moving like this.
And I told niggas, people was downplaying these normal, well, they can equate for the normal, this, that. I'm like, nigga, bro, it's not that simple to be playing with these normal like that. And I told y'all, the niggas fully charged up now. Ain't no bullshit. Ain't no erasure holding these niggas back. They finna go fucking stupid. They finna unleash hell.
My man's just levitating, shooting pieces off, breaking the battlefield up. Shorty said it reached the rear guard. It's just straight chaos.
That nigga, and the nigga in the back,
bro,
glasses.
My nigga, I'm not gonna lie. Out of all the battlefields, this one low key looked the most tame to me. Cause I'm not gonna, and the way that there's a straight chaos going on here of all places. Imagine the other battlefields with more niggas there.
I can't even. And off one got some hitters with him.
Oh no, this is the easy field. This is the easiest battlefield, and then you still got at least 2 high ends.
Nah.
No erasure, because that was because I also think a lot of people underestimate the high ends a little because they off screen lost. During the war, they didn't get to do as much, and they managed to kill 7 of them in the war. But you gotta think we know for sure there were hundreds of heroes sent to that city.
So it's that's what I'm saying. A lot of times MHA don't get. A lot of times niggas don't use the logic when it comes to MHA. MHA is based off a lot of logic, and niggas is so used to meathead power ups, and you show your strength off rip. Because a lot of other series don't hold or hold back or have matchups that matter. When you talking about One Piece, you can get Logia, Permecia, this, that, and other. But if you're just a top dog, you're just a top dog. It don't really matter what you're facing against because you got hockey, armor hockey. So an Admiral pull up or a Yonka, it don't matter what they facing against. They're gonna assert their dominance, right? But in MHA, you could be top 20, but if somebody got a counter towards you, then that brings you down a little bit, or what, so to speak. Or like I said, Redestro, certain things holding him back so he don't get the Alicia's full power, so then niggas think he's soft or he weak. Just like with Geeton and them niggas oh look, he got beat, but it's beat.
Bro, but if Jaten was here, my nigga.
Bro, if he was at Octo Island, oh my fucking God.
Yo, if he was here, my nigga. Look. Listen, if the series does end, look, I'll give y'all this. If the series is over and Jaten don't come back, I understand. Because if he was here, nigga, there's water everywhere.
It would have been a fucking wrap, bro. It would have been him and Hazan. Oh, no, please stop. Take the manga away.
Yo, we ain't even seen him this chapter. We just saw Moonfish. That nigga we ain't even know was here. This is what I'm saying. There's niggas coming back who we know is nice. Who, I don't know. Oh, Moonfish is here now. More chaos.
He already catching bodies, stabbing Orca, Everybody else like, yo, we got the convicts. Stay frosty, boys. Like, nigga, I told people stop playing with these convicts, but you know what? In these advisors, but you know what it's gonna take? It's gonna take a full showcasing of them bodying somebody for people to actually realize what they really got.
Bro,
so one of the things with like Moonfish
is not even going hard on that page. Moonfish is just chilling. He hasn't even done nothing crazy yet.
Like, so my thing with Moonfish is I think a lot of people kind of sleep on him, specifically because he kind of got like one shot, and he's weird to scale because there's the added conditions that Bakugo and Shoto, like Shoto wasn't going to use his fire because he didn't want to burn down the forest, and Bakugo couldn't use his quirk at all, basically, because they didn't want to burn down the forest.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? You know what I do? I go ahead and call Bakugo and Shoto because they're supposed to be the top dogs, right? But see, they be like, oh, you know, Bakugo beat Tokoyami. Tokoyami couldn't even do nothing to Bakugo. I'm like, okay. Then I flip the script and I'm like, oh, but Bakugo was getting mighty pressed by Moonfish and Shoto too. That's your boys, right? They were like, nah, it's because they couldn't do it because of the force. And I'm like, okay, so they had a weakness, right? So the same thing applies to Tokoyami. And I'm like, it's like, y'all niggas like to use to their favorites. They like to use advantages, but don't like to play for everybody else. Niggas can find a real easy excuse for their favorite and why their favorite didn't get to do this or they got a hold like this. But when it comes to everybody else, they don't do that in MHA. Let dead ass. Like, Shocker would have folded every fucking body on that goddamn field had it not been for common.
If he was here.
Oh, please. And water's everywhere, too. Everybody just had to jump.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If he was here, my nigga, he might have fucking had to do some friendly fire because everybody was getting shocked.
Dead ass. It's like, man, and somebody, to a point to what you said, Turner, and Aniki, if this is like one of the more tame battlefields, well, we know it's all about escalation to crescendo into like, you know, the climax or whatever. So at this point, if this is just how we starting off, I understand the Shigaraki point because that's a main point. We don't even have to go back to them anymore because we know it's just going to be everybody jumping around. And next time we go back, I think that was obviously now, in hindsight, that was just setting up things. I don't think that was the meat. I don't think that was the meat. They just need to set up what's going down where. So I think we're going to start.
He had to answer questions. That portion so far was to answer questions in my mind.
So now
we had to know. We had to know what is going on with UA and what is going on with Shigaraki. He answered both those questions, and now we're going back to the other stuff.
Yeah, so now I feel like it's going crescendo now we're going to get this, and there's probably going to be a follow-up chapter. Like, after the chapter we get next week, it'll be a follow-up chapter with Toga, and then we're going to transfer with, like, I'm guessing, Dabi and Shoto next, and then, or Endeavor and Hawks, or Facum, whoever be next.
Now, I'm praying that we don't go to Dabi and Shoto next, because my heart is going to be hurting if we only get, like, one chapter setting up that fight and then cut away. I'm going to be like, no, please. And then we're going to go to some more guys after that. And I'm going to be like, I want to stay here. And then next week, some different guys. I don't know what to do.
So let me address some stuff.
I'll be honest. I didn't even want to leave the Shigaraki battlefield. I was getting in tune. I was like,
I know, right?
And then we cut away. I'm like, man. But then it's Deku, so I got to gas it.
Oh,
whoa. Well, you see the top?
Yeah, I see the top. The fuck? I'm about to text that nigga. All right, let's check the chat. But yeah, I'm gonna go up the list and address everybody. Shola, Shigaraki is in complete control. Off one might be kind of chatting a little bit, but he not overtaken. Shigaraki's in control. That's not a doubt. No, John, it's Shigaraki in control. He already said, don't get in the way.
The thing about that people don't get yet, and I don't know how, like, it's both of them. He said it in the Cassie fight. He said, "I have no doubt I am Tomura Shigaraki, but I'm also off one." He is both of them.
Yeah,
but you have to really know both characters to tell who is what, who is talking at the time.
All right, hold on. He said a random crash. He might jump in the link. Yeah, there's both of them, but Shigaraki's the one challenge. I don't know, Tobufu, where I don't know where the slime villain is at, but that brings me to what Brandon said. He said, "Yo, can we talk about how the heroes and even the readers are just forgetting Spinner as a threat, which Horikoshi's doing intention." I told y'all.
Listen, I'm not forgetting.
I told y'all, bro. He's a con artist. He's a magician. He's literally just doing a sleight of hand. He having niggas all the little flashy shit up front. Having all the little flashy shit up front. Oh, look at this battle. Look at this battle. All the headliners. He got all the headliners up front. What's really gonna make a difference? We already know what like most of the headliners are for the heroes. The only heavy hitters we missing that we don't know where they at that could change the tide of a battlefield is fucking Miracle and Inasa. Those are the only two heavy hitters we don't know where they at, that they could change the course of a battlefield, depending on what the circumstances may be. They could change the course of that. Those are the only two heavy hitters they really got. Meanwhile, we don't know what the fuck Spinner and those niggas packing in the back, bro. Like, them niggas
been hella mutant on deck.
Like, I'm telling y'all, nigga, y'all must not know, like, Horikoshi is the setup guy. You know, he take his time. If any nigga has not been showcased yet, like he really wanted to showcase the advisors, it's been for a reason. So when they show out, they will show the fuck out. All right, so it's just us right now. He's saying it now. So we run the show. What's up, Spectral? What's up, Spectral? Oh shit! Now y'all in trouble. What's the dynamic duo running the stream for right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Poison Tree. I ain't forget about All For One. I'm scared about that battlefield because honestly, I think I said this last week, but I thought they were gonna be rotating erasure because you can't just leave All For One with quirks like that. Like that shit gonna be crazy. Endeavor fighting all them quirks, that's gonna be a damn good fight. Mm-hmm. And then you got all the convicts and fucking advisors and Nomu on top of that. And I don't even think they can deal with all that.
This shit.
Daytime dudes like Tokoyami gonna have to create situations where he could use Ragnarok. Like, they're gonna be breaking the floor, going underground. That battlefield is gonna go ridiculous.
1 year, my ass, nigga.
Cause that's what I'm saying, bro. Cause look at this chapter again, 13 pages. Like he know what he has to do and when he has to do it. This is not ending in one.
Y'all need to
it's
learn.
Not ending in 1 year.
Yeah, y'all need to learn about what conserving your energy is. Like, if you don't know about picking and choosing your battles or conserving energy and where to place it, then it's a very good skill to have and knowing where to place your energy. And this chapter not need no 17 pages. It was mainly a transition one. If you got the point, we leave it off at one arc. It was like
he could have stuffed more into this chapter if he wanted to, but he didn't have to.
Yeah. It's like, where was that going to get us? And when it's right, it's right. But
and the crazy thing is that, bro, I swear to God, when I read the scans, I didn't even realize this was 13 pages until the officials. I thought it was more than that because there's mad shit going on each page.
Exactly.
Like, look at all this chaos going on. I was analyzing each battle going on. Like when Moonfish came, like I was just reading. I didn't even realize how many pages it was. I was just reading. I was in tune, and then the chapter ended. I didn't feel like it ended abruptly. I was like, damn, I gotta wait for next week. This is how I felt.
Just fucking zooling that bitch. So let's answer some of the stuff in the chat. First of all, we got a $5 super chat or $4.49, and whatever currency that is. The super chat from Denzel. Thank you. Shout out to you, bro. Sorry what you said. Yo, guys, what do you think will happen with the singularity? Because it seems like Shiggy has conquered it. So I'm wondering what will happen with Deku now. Will he adapt, or more so his body adapt to it? Well, like I said before a couple of times, Deku is actually the pinnacle of what quirk singularity is. If their body can't handle what the quirks and the hard work and the software, that's literally what Deku is, because it'll say each generation. Deku is the 9th user, right? So that would mean he's 9 generations ahead. The quirk stockpiles and melds and supercharges. That's exactly what quirks do. Bakugo's mom quirk isn't that strong, and his dad quirk isn't that strong to basically compared to Bakugo's, which is a combination of both. So Deku having all these quirks and his stockpile over the course of that is supercharging, jumping ahead generations. So what you seen him doing and busting his body down at the beginning of the series was basically quirk singularity the whole time, like All Might said. It's long past the point of singularity.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen to All Might. That did not happen to All Might.
Yeah.
So that was literally Deku's body dealing with the singularity. Exactly. I think is what we're supposed to ensue from that.
Exactly. I thought Spinner and Skeptic were planning to explode something. Maybe UA Hospital. Who knows? I don't think that was a bomb. I don't think that was a bomb. I'm pretty sure that was just like a notification thing, like a beeper.
No, I think that was a bomb.
You think that was a bomb?
I think it was a bomb because I'm thinking about their plan back in 258 when they were talking about attacking major cities and there was just explosions on the double spreads.
Yeah, but you still.
I think they really want to do that. For real.
I won't be surprised, but at the same time, they still have to get everybody together. He was saying, you got to rally these niggas. He said, you got to rally these niggas. You got to talk to them.
Yeah, you got to make a move more than anything else. Like, they might just go there individually and to attack them. Like, it might not be bombs, just set places for each like group of mutants to go to attack.
Exactly. Brandon De La Cruz.
Central Hospital not surviving. It's like, yeah, I seen that. He was like, the decay quirk too broken, and especially if those multiple hands could do decay as well, we have to keep it on Shigaraki. He is priority. He's definitely priority, like in the battle, but in terms of what we watching, like we have to see other battlefields and what's going on. We can't just stay focused on one front the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we got more than enough so far with the Shigaraki thing. Because honestly, like, I don't want to watch them fight in quirkless Shigaraki for too long. Because I want to watch him fight. I want to watch him fight with his quirks when he's powered up in tune. And he's already like winning already to me. Because I don't know what they're gonna do about all those hands. They're gonna keep growing. They're gonna keep spreading. They might be able to attack the main body, but he could take anything they throw at him.
Dead ass. So it's like, what y'all gonna really do about this shit? Hey, man.
It's just gonna be. It'll basically be a repeat of the fight in the war, except in a contained spot. So I'd rather just focus on other battlefields. By the time we go back there, it's gonna be a way different fight from where we left, though. Like when we go back there, I expect to see people injured. Like it's gonna be wild when we go back.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, this one, the Shigaraki thing is probably my most interested out of everywhere. Only because it's like it's kind of held back until we really get into the nitty gritty. Because I'm trying to see Shigaraki let loose. They keep holding this nigga with his quirks. I'm like, he didn't even get to show out with Cassie. He barely got to barely got a taster test with Cassie. All right, I'm trying to see this nigga let the heavens unleash. So when Erasure gone, that's what I'm gonna be too hyped for Shigaraki. Right now, he good, he in control, and on that fucking off one snatch and shit, he said, "Yo, chill out. I got this. This me, nigga." Like, yeah, the off one, like, he talking, but that's like that ain't nothing compared to
off one. He was just explaining, like, they asked the body a question, and then the off one personality wanted to answer because that nigga loved to talk. That's all that was.
Yeah, that's all that was. Simple as that. It did. So that's all it was. But other battlefields, I'm really excited to see. I'm really excited to see Fat Gun Battlefield because that's where the team battle is just gonna go stupid and anybody can die. That's what I'm really excited to see. Niggas that got no plot armor whatsoever that could just die. That's what I'm most excited to see.
That's how I feel about Orca right now because he done evaded death in the war somehow, but I think his time might be coming. I think. Yeah. Listen. If he dies here, then my mindset is that he didn't die in the war because we needed him to set up this battlefield. This is his aquarium.
Yeah, I mean, now it makes perfect sense. It's like, the main attraction was, Gang Gorka. I feel you, Coyote. It's like Daniel Spinner awakening his true powers and kills off one and Deku instead of becoming the protagonist himself. He makes sure he's the protagonist because he's a true friend. 10 out of 10. So.
Yeah. Brandon, I definitely think Monoma is in danger. And Aizawa.
Oh, they
Shiggy already called him out last week.
They are. Oof. That run when Shiggy we're back on a plot for Shiggy that run for Shiggy gonna be a little bit too scary. Cause now it's like, y'all kind of Dr. Hassan was just fighting Shigaraki's regular body and fist, but his speed was still insanity along with his strength alone. But now, oh nah, it's no big boy. Tobufu, slime villain tried taking over Bakugo body. A Spinner really is infiltrating the shit and freeing people. You still think we said slime villain impersonate someone? Hey man, it's a possibility. Like I said, it's a lot of shit.
If Horikoshi wanted to scare us, I would like it if like Spinner was just talking to some random guy and we didn't know who he was. And then at the end of the chapter, we see slime villain come out from his body. Like I was impersonating him. I need him to just do crazy shit like that. Like that thing that almost happened to Bakugo, it actually happened to this dude. And he just
that's scary. Move fish going full gang work. Going full gang. Ha! Nah, for real.
So, yeah, gang, what time is coming?
So what we talked about before is that also what we talked about before was actually we finally seen the damn messages. God damn, what them niggas
on God, the fourth.
I thought about that as soon as I finished chapter. I was gonna text you, but I was like, we just gonna talk in VC anyway Friday probably. And then I was like, damn, you know what? Tarns had brought that point in our voice notes. I was like, bro, we ain't seen none of this in a minute.
No, on God, since 318, that was the last time we seen them for real. Like, unless you want to count the whole second shit with Ida, so that's the latest you could count. That's the highest you could count at 321. That's the last time we seen the second, and then after that, we ain't nobody.
That's still like what 26 chapters ago. God damn, I don't even been in the cut.
Basically, speaking of that, listen, it's been how many chapters since 306? And then 306 came out, and y'all was saying we had like 40 chapters of MHA left. 40 chapters passed, and we like not even really in the final fight yet. Nowhere near. We setting it up, and we definitely got 40 plus chapters left. So y'all definitely be overreacting when it comes to that final act announcement. And that final arc, that quote unquote final arc announcement, that don't mean shit to me either.
It really don't. I don't know why. And speaking of which, I really wish Aniki was here right now because I want to talk about this too. That's just a couple of times because he's right here.
Yeah. So what was the thing that came up while I was gone?
We just talked about sparing a couple of the villains, this, that, and the other. But we was talking about that.
But right now we talking about like. So next week we getting a Deku and Ochako cover fitting for the end of this chapter.
Oh.
And there was a quote unquote final arc announcement, which you know how those be.
You know how I understand like that don't change something. I already told y'all why the fuck if like common sense would be like dictate that hey, if we have a time skip, there's going to be no more school whatsoever. So why would we have academia in the title? That's a kind of part of part 2. So to speak, you know what I'm saying? But some weirdo ass niggas was like, some weirdo ass nigga in particular, because somebody showed me, I was chilling, and then like, they messaged me, and they showed me this nigga like quote retweeting the tweet, talk about, yeah, East and all the doubters suck it, this, that, and other, and they did it twice. And I was like,
I didn't even see that. What the hell?
Yeah, I got it. Somebody sent me it. And I was like,
boy, Dick Riding is bad. Dick Riding is bad for the health.
I was like, hey, bro, you niggas are some real weirdos. Like, I don't even know who you are. And you talk about, this is East's loss. Like, you fucking weirdo ass nigga. Like, I understand why they say go touch grass, because you a fucking loser. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of y'all niggas, and I'm not changing my stance.
Yeah. Oh God, you was hitting my Thanos GIF gimmick whenever niggas I don't know talk to me, I be like, who are you? The Thanos GIF? But I don't even know you, my nigga. You did here talking like that.
Like, but that is kind of how people talk about people on here or like on Twitter. They'll be like, so and so, and it's like, bro.
Yeah,
this person does not give a fuck about you. Like, nobody is thinking about you like that. You gotta chill out.
Like damn, you funny.
Yo, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah. Sean, nigga was like, Sean and Jeff are calling it the final arc.
First of all, my stance on it really hasn't changed at all. But honestly, like realistically speaking, like why is anybody excited about that in any way? Like,
this is
why are people happy that the final arc got announced? Like, don't you like this series? Like, you sitting here fiending every week to read the new chapter. Like, what you gonna do when it ends? Like, you sitting here trying to win the battle, talking about yes, and then I told you, nigga, who's happy about that?
Anyway, it's us. That's what I'm talking about. All that anger and hatred and rage. Like, all right, but what does it get you in the end? Let's say I lose, right? You do realize what I'm suggesting is for the betterment of the series and more satisfaction for everybody, right? Which was set up, right? So me winning, air quote, and placing my bets in the right place benefits us. You wanted me to lose and Horikoshi cut everything this year short would only harm Horikoshi, you, and everybody else that enjoyed the series. So
the legacy
you kind of like
My Hero Academia.
Like you kind of really being an entirely like a fucking dickhead if you think that me losing is like yeah I win, he loses. Like, you do realize what I'm suggesting is for a betterment of the series. Even people that think the series is ending, when I said explain why I don't think it's ending this soon, they be like, oh well, I think it's ending, but I see where you're coming from, and I kind of hope what you're saying is true, because like I'm like to give us some points. Y'all niggas is like, how we lose this? Like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Drop that pride. Drop that pride.
I truly believe niggas are jealous of some Twitter clout that I don't even care about. Neither do I really have. That's what I believe. Because it be these random ass niggas with very little followers that start talking shit. I'm not even gonna talk about the other nigga with a lot because I ain't beginning to that shit. False claiming that shit. But some of you random niggas, I ain't gonna call your names out, but some of you random niggas that just be, I didn't even know who y'all were. I wasn't even on Twitter. Niggas brought this shit to my attention. And I had to come out onto my account to talk to y'all niggas. And when I talk back, y'all don't fucking step two. I'm not finna argue with no niggas on the internet like I'm fucking 2 years old. I'm not gonna see you, not gonna see me. Because I can't bust your head because I can't see you in life. So I'm not finna fucking sit here and argue with you like
y'all done got this. Y'all done got this nigga hot.
Over fucking manga? Over fucking Japanese manga? I don't give a fuck what happens in the end. I'm grinding till the wheels fall off. I'm not finna fucking sit here and argue with you stupid ass niggas.
East.
Oh, my fault.
Y'all done got this. Y'all got this nigga hot now. Like,
hey, look, because here's my thing, is that, like we talked about, I've gone into a server before and been able to catch somebody talking shit like 98 different times. Just by searching my name, not counting like any other things, like nothing like that. Like Tomte mentioned us like tangentially. It's just, it is what it is. And what it comes down to is there is this obsession with the idea that if you are not hateful of things that other people dislike, you are not honestly engaged. And that just kind of isn't the case, because we're allowed to like different things, one. But two, there's kind of just like an excess number of double standards that I see applied to My Hero anyway. Three, a lot of people don't put in the effort or even want to look at the series beyond their initial impression. Like, when I bring up, like, there's people that I've talked to and been like, this. You're talking about depth, complexity. You're talking about, oh, I wish this had more mature themes. And then when you get to concepts like All for One, basically having capitalism as his ideology, these people are like, oh, I wish we could go back to the sports festival, the safe tournament art cliche. Like, this idea that the negative people are the ones who are the most analytical is just flawed. And it purely stems from, just this dissonance with the idea that if they don't like something, it has to truly be bad. And if it's not what they predicted, it has to be bad. People keep trying to justify if it's not exactly what I wanted. And it's like, no, there's critiquing things from an angle of, well, this could have been better because this is like underserved as a plot point, but you can argue that it's intended to be a twist or for something that you're supposed to expect and all these other things. But like, for example, with the Dobby reveal, you could argue it was built up too long. And then I would say, well, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be dramatic irony. And in which case you could say, okay, well, I don't like dramatic irony, but at that point, you just don't like certain literary techniques, and that's whatever.
Just good beefing with the story, but we got super chat.
Yeah. Giorno Giovanna coming through. Cool chapter. Toga the goat, Deku the goat, Ochako goat. Can't wait for next chapter. We letting Hori cook. And by that, I mean, let's skip straight to Shoto.
But I got, okay, Tobofu is Bahala Na. All right, bet. Just let it be. That's what I'm doing, man. I mean, I guess niggas are just, they jealous or they envious or they hate my confidence and they the ability to stand 10 toes down when they but meanwhile they so flagrant, they flop, they be flip-flopping. They like leaves in the wind, they just flow whatever which way. And they don't got nothing. Instead, they fall on, they're not a tree. They ain't got no roots. Just stick down, stay down. I guess they just envious of that. All I can say about that is build some trust.
Ease, I just seen the picture you sent me. I dead ass know who that is too.
So they got a Steven Universe Abby. So you know what? I'm telling you.
He said he could definitely be moving way better than that. Like I know exactly who that is. He's better than that. Like I don't know why he moving like that.
And I kind of came into the Final War arc discussion. So here's what I'll say. It's like if this is the Final War arc, I expect it to end up being, I don't know how to put this. The only way I don't see it being longer than a year is if one of the things that I've talked about is Spinner rising up and betraying All for One to shut down his plans, but instead doing so as a third faction. And then instead of going to war with the heroes, reaching a point of we have military power, so let's actually sit down and have a negotiation so that we can get heteromorphic rights actually handled, and actually taking the political route to address that stuff through dialogue, which kind of just going to war isn't going to fix the heteromorphic discrimination issues. That's going to have to come through legislation and politicking anyway. So if My Hero is really going to utilize and delve, the more My Hero is going to delve into the actual political setup and the way their society needs to be structured, the shorter the series can be. So it depends on how much action and politics we're going to be getting. If we get a lot of fights, it'll end up being longer. And if we're not going to end up having to do the negotiations and the politicking, and instead it's going to come down to like a bloodbath and annihilation, then I see the series actually going longer than if we actually get the politics that you're supposed to have here.
That was
negotiations.
That was one of my main points, in that 1 year comment was so goofy. I know he was just trolling, and you took it and ate it. You do realize, bro, like y'all do realize this ends in 1 year, right? So we only got like 35 chapters left in a year. This hasn't, that would mean it doesn't even match the length of the first war, let alone all the battles that need to happen and all the plot points that need to conclude outside of battle that don't have time to be concluded right here, right now.
It's not ending this year.
Like literally.
I swear to God, it's
like literally. If you like, because if you're gonna use the 1 year argument or this year, that's your stance. You don't get to switch and be like, okay, but maybe it can extend here and that and the other, because that means you change your stance. If you're gonna say it 1 year,
realistically,
like if you're gonna take Horikoshi's words, you're gonna take it at face value and stick right there. You're not gonna work it around and maybe a year and a half. Like no, because that also gives room for a part 2, etc. You're gonna stick with your 1 year, and we're gonna go from here. If that is 1 year, that's shorter than the original war. And the original war, the first war, didn't even have half as many plot points to conclude as we do right now. And that's stuff that's not even involved and it needs to take place outside of battle.
If anything, the war was still setting stuff up
for more. Even now, and it's like not even a whole stage is set, because we still don't know what fucking Fat Gum and them niggas got going on. Another location where a couple key players are for the hero side. Don't even get me started on Spinner. It's like, yeah, so like, hello. It's like, so like there's
a whole side to the war we haven't seen yet, like that nobody's acknowledged yet, which guarantee more chapters on top of that. Like, and honestly, I'm glad you said that about the fights, because that's been my main thing. Like, the fights are gonna extend this way longer than Horikoshi thinks himself, because he likes to get into the groove of battle. He likes to draw big panels displaying big attacks. Sometimes he be wasting full double spreads on that shit. Like he be stacking.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, like when he was like, oh, I'd like to keep drawing this character forever. I'd like to keep doing this. The Jump is going to encourage him to do that. They're gonna want him to pad it out. Sure, do a little more action. Come on, give him a little more. Yeah, do another double spread. Go for it.
Yeah, you know what? Take your time with a lot of this thing.
They'll try to get an extra 20, 30 chapters of action out of him if it means, because that's another 2-3 volumes.
Hey Tyler, it's like you said, man. It's like
they want that. They're like, come on, get us a couple more books, bro. Just a couple more.
And it's like, yeah, Tyler's like, well, if I'm wrong, next year I'll be back with the same. I'll be back with the same statement next year. Nigga, I already know. It's like that's a fucking joke to me. Like until I see like I already told y'all, it's gonna be key. It's only key points that's gonna make me even slightly budge about this ending in its entirety. I already told y'all. Till I see Dobby fall and Shigaraki go down dirty, I'm not changing my statement whatsoever. Like I'm staying down until the wheels fall off. Even now, I'm still staying down until the wheels fall off. But it's like you said, Coyote too. This war can't be the end, or at least this front can't be the end for Momo with Shigaraki and Gasman's God isn't even there. Because she should get justice for Midnight, the nigga who killed her, because she was the one elected and trusted.
Kaminari is here too, and he's probably the second most impacted person by Midnight's death. I'd actually argue he's the first, because a lot of people don't talk about this, but like Kaminari was the last student who really spoke to Midnight in person.
Yeah,
like and saw her.
Face.
She was inspiring him to keep going. Like Kaminari is just as hurt as Midnight about Midnight as anybody else. He's just as hurt, if not more.
Kaminari, like, my thing is that that's kind of like the other thing too, is that I kind of expect the fortress to fall, but I expect it to have a controlled fall, because I think that Kaminari and some of the other characters need a bit more personal interaction with what's going on with the story right now.
And that's another thing too. It's like, yeah, bro, at all the battlefields, this is like the main one where a lot of kids are getting sidelined. So I'm like, yeah, if you think Kaminari and Momo, this all they're gonna really get, yeah, you kind of sipping on some loco juice.
Yeah, because the idea of Momo, who's like, you could argue that Momo's character arc was like supposed to peak in the war arc, and now she's taking a back seat. But Momo didn't get to like feel the success of her Makia plan. She spent like that war arc feeling like a failure. So there has to be a point where Momo gets to execute her strategy and actually feel and get the reward for it. Or at the very least have that make a plan and die for it moment, like joint training seemed to be kind of hinting at. Which I don't think Momo is going to get killed off seriously. So I feel like we have to get at least one more time where she's like actually running a strategic point. I don't think she'd just be put on, parts duty for that seems like an odd final beat for her character.
And Kaminari,
basically what I'm hearing is that like Momo got one more lucky bag left for Kai-chan.
Yeah, like that, something like that has to be in the works for it to really make sense.
She might like give him a mega blaster or some shit.
Because that was what I liked about joint training, you could say, set up the Makia example in that they realized Makia was a threat. They realized that they could die against Makia, and they made that sacrifice. And the only thing that made sure they didn't die was one Makia, not prioritizing going back to finish off the people who had been removed from the battlefield. And but since they lost, Majestic, then it's like, well, they already made the sacrifice. So I'm like, all right, then where's the moment of payoff where she finally gets to experience it? Because she hasn't actually gotten that since final exam arc.
Exactly.
And arguably provisional license arc, but manga wise, that's off screen.
Exactly. And where's the payoff for like certain stuff like Kaminari? Okay, he has one in the war, but that was hit and retreat. And this is supposed to be the rise of next generation. When I feel like it's really the rise of the next generation in full effect, then you got me. But for right now, not feeling it too much. Like a lot of kids have not been the headliners. It's still the adults who are the headliners, but this is supposed to be about them rising up. And the old guard is still here. So how are they supposed to rise up in the same thing? Old guard get beat up and then they just rise up in the same battle?
I need all the old guard going by that. gone, maimed, anything by the end of this battle. Like, I'm saying, like, bro, honestly, I think the real tell, and this is real funny, the real tell will be Shoto versus Dabi.
I told you, it's so key to everything. That's why I'm like, when is it coming?
Dabi it's all about Dabi. Reference that Shigaraki panel from 69. It's all about Dabi right now. If Dabi goes down against Shoto, then maybe I think it's ending. If not, if Dabi's just chilling, then I know what time it is.
Exactly. That's the biggest telltale sign. And Karen Babe,
is Dabi going down without seeing Endeavor again? Big missed opportunity.
No, yeah, like that. I can't even get into that one. That one just don't sit right with me in any way, shape, or form. That I can't sit by that.
Like my thing is that Dabi dying a failure, or like the only way I could see it is if Dabi dies fighting Shoto, and him dying a failure creates like an extra sad tinge to his character arc. But that only works for me if there's absolute like 100% like zero redemption for him. Like if he's like failing, falling apart, and dies cursing Shoto and like the Todoroki name.
He's not going down without a fight.
So like if he don't go out, like that's what I'm saying. Like he had a fight, but if he dies without seeing Endeavor, then I don't want him to get random closure or anything like that. I want him to die cursing these people's names.
But that's so unsatisfying because it's like, man, like, all right, you know what? Might as well just not chop off one at that point, or like just chop off of one. And it's a lot of ways to go, but it's like that's just not satisfying in any regard. If it was regular villains, fine. But if I've waited from the moment that I knew he was Toya since the camp, and then the crescendo here, and then okay, we kind of held you back at the war, you know, the first battle at Jakku, but you know what, it's still leading up, but y'all get something, but then it just like kind of like cooks me, like, it cooks the entire Dabi character, like, nah, nigga, like I knew they were gonna fucking die. Let me get some satisfaction. Cause like at the end of the day, it's like, all right, because then it's like it gets to be some it gets to be some type of like, legacy thing. Like in a sense, this still works out for Endeavor. Like he may not get his family, but he already did that without Toya coming back. So Toya coming back doesn't, make or break, but like, okay, they reunited for this split second, but it's like at the same time, it's not gonna be together ever again, just because we stopped Toya, or so to speak. So it's like, all right, Shoto takes him out. Cool, but okay, Dabi is like a fucking chump. The
masterpiece putting down the failure.
Like the chump the entire way through is just like, nah, that leave a bad taste. Same thing with Shigaraki's like, yo, Shigaraki, the levels to equate for Shigaraki losing to Deku, the amount of like he would have to kill All For One and All Might in this arc, and the levels to it would have to be so fucking insane. It makes no sense that this is writing from a human being. Cause like that, like I could have said, there's certain things that just don't line up with me. Like you could like if you really wanted to end it satisfyingly enough, you could have had Endeavor taken out at Jakku by Dabi, and then it leads to later on. Then like, okay, well, you know what? Shoto comes back, he takes out Dabi here. No time skip, but okay, at least Dabi got something with W with his main character arc. This Shigaraki didn't get his full power, his king shit, but at least he got to beat Deku. Deku's never gotten a hard ass whooping like he needs. And for Horikoshi to be a Spider-Man fan, and Deku ain't got his Uncle Ben or ass beat moment, you see the Akira vibes. So like,
that's gonna be the hardest fight of Deku's life. Like,
so, and it's just like, all right, Shigaraki.
As soon as Toga pulled him into that portal, like that's when his day started. Then this is gonna keep going left and left and left.
Mr. Andrew, East convinced me to catch up to MHA, so I'll do it tomorrow. Let's hope there was no shenanigans while I was gone.
Any shenanigans?
We'll see.
Don't be texting me. You can keep your complaints with the people in Viz officials where I don't touch. You can keep that nonsense in there. Don't be texting me. Don't be texting me asking me 100 questions, Andrew.
Hold on. Let's see. because I think Cameron Bailey is the one who mentioned Midnight. Yeah, so Mount Lady and Midnight are a little. It's like they had that moment on the talk show, but I don't want to actually say they were that close. Like, it's possible, it's arguable, and I think that to a certain degree, regardless, we know that Midnight had some influence on Mount Lady, but I don't want to say that her reaction is more or as valuable as what we already kind of noticed happening with some of the other characters, like Mina becoming a giant, like crybaby all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that one.
So let me address Tony. He's been chatting up in the chat. He ain't been saying no nothing. He been saying some actual stuff. So I agree with Tony. You made a good point about power scaling can get messy, but I think MHA would have benefited from the kids coming across as getting to the pro heroes Jonin like in Naruto, because now off one is saying making children fight in wars, and he ain't wrong. You do have a good point on that. I think that's why the layers were separated from the first year to the second to the third. But you definitely do have a good point in that, power scale and this, that, and other. But then again, a lot of this is just a lot of genetics and quirk matchups. And if you just got a better quirk than somebody, it is what it is. And then stuff like that. That's why, but it's like you got to use your head, but they tell you a lot at times if you don't, like, Tokiyami's not weak by any standard, but against Bakugo splashing his light, that makes Tokiyami's weakness come to like even more so like apparent. So that he loses that battle, and it's just things like that.
Also, what I want to talk about is even in Naruto, part of the point of the story though is that the Genin are children that are forced into war. And then you have people like Hashirama and Madara who are basically like Chunin Jonin level when they were like 10 and even more so. But and the power scaling for MHA makes it so that, especially because quirks got stronger, just the more that they were replicated and utilized, the younger generation was already kind of being handed this responsibility of inevitably being a higher tier than the previous one. And I think that's one of the other things about MHA too, is that there's this hanging fear of obsolescence or like just becoming obsolete within like 10 to 15 years, even as like a human being, because these quirks are developing at such a complex like rate. And then there's still kids that are forced to fight in wars. They just happen to have really broken quirks or really strong quirks. Mm-hmm. And in the case of some of them, they're technically full-blown experiments. Like Dabi's design is based partially on Frankenstein, being Frankenstein's monster, whereas Shoto can be seen as the complete successful experiment of Endeavor's machinations, so
basically. So Tobufu said, hey yo, aren't we supposed to see Sero and Shoji spotlight? Where's that? Or compress? And people are saying we ending soon while forgetting these promised points. That's the thing. People just be chatting, bro. That's why this don't faze me, because I give y'all logic. Horikoshi brings back all the plot lines, plot points, and then you'll go to say, oh, it's still he's just gonna rush past it based off what evidence. Just because he's like, I have no evidence or reason to believe that. Y'all over exaggerate a lot of times, like, oh, this wasn't addressed, or this, that, and like, y'all said that was said about the Ochiko shit, then it got addressed at the right time and had this full on section dedicated to it at the right moment when they were alone, not with everybody else.
No, I'm telling you, this 13-page chapter really showed me that, like, he's chilling, he's fine, like, especially when you got other mangaka like Gege, who is not afraid to take breaks. Horikoshi is not afraid to take breaks if he's tired. Like, he's fine. He's completely good.
Hey Tony, listen. It's like what Austin Morgan said. Shout out to Austin Morgan, by the way. Listen, it's like he said. The whole fight is giving me Empire vibes. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I understand, like you said, time skip would help the series better, believer. Listen, I told y'all where I stand, man. 10 toes down. Until I see that nigga Dabi fold over and Shigaraki, I'm not budging. But let's get back to some actual topics about the chapter overall. I mean, I'm just curious, like, what's gonna be real interesting about this arc in its entirety is the magnificence of when it's done, when it's all said and done. Because I don't care about like Thomas Katana. That's besides it. The amount of masterfully written, planned out writing for characters to get to point A to point B to line up where they're going to be at is actually insane. Thinking about it right now, because this is all that's going to be for Momo Kaminari. So how they get to point A to point B to who they need to face, and Momo got to face Gas Mask God at some point, especially since their connection to Midnight, and how he was the one that took her out. He ain't nowhere to be found, and it's just like all the moving pieces. Like you're gonna really get the fact that like no matter like if you didn't like somebody not dying here or whatever that, you're gonna realize how good this nigga of a writer is to get from point A to point B, because we can only think about okay, this idea, this, that.
Oh God.
But then it's just like what happened in the war. I'm like, okay, how does Davi meet Endeavor? Horikoshi had that shit set up and planned since NBA because he set up Makia's nose.
Yeah, the craziest thing to me right now is the fact that Deku was supposed to be with Shigaraki. Like, let me snatch him away. And the fight, the way it's going, it's so perfect. And it's like, but for them, it's like Deku was supposed to be there, but he's not there. Like, well, Hori already knew Deku wasn't going to end up there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people be arguing this, that, and the other, but he 20 steps ahead. How many times I got to say that?
Which, also as a general note, how do y'all feel about this particular team that was chosen?
It's honestly, like I said, it's honestly a really solid, perfected team. The only thing is, I'm gonna bring that certain character up because I'm gonna get real petty when it comes to that motherfucker from now on. But the only thing is, like, bro, they really had to have Deku there. They had a logical. That's another thing. They had a logical way to win this, and then like they did it, and it was all based off logic because Horikoshi don't do random ass pulls. If these niggas had beat and won in logic, I'd be like, hey man, listen, my hands up. This is in line with Horikoshi using logic and not bullshit. So hey, it is what it is. But this nigga got sidetracked somewhere else. And the plan was really fucking great. Like, I was shitting on the heroes before, but this plan was fucking really masterfully crafted, especially adding the spares to that. This shit was masterfully crafted. Shout out to the heroes.
Yeah. So like, that's part of why, like, the clones thing, I'm like really kind of hoping that we don't go that direction just because this plan is like a little too good to have it that heavily wasted. Like narrative wise, it's like nah, like this plan is too much detail and good stuff. Like, don't.
That's the thing about my thing, that the plan is already going left though, too.
Right,
like,
and that's why I'm like, okay,
bad.
we already had our big. Because like the other thing is that we have way more tension now, regardless of how they decide. Let's say they go, fuck it, we'll risk it. 10 seconds. Shigaraki gets his quirks for 10 seconds. We're terrified for that 10 seconds, and they can lose so much in that 10 seconds. Let's say we go, nope, we're going to take the safer approach. Deku runs there. The same level of tension we would have gotten out of like clones, we now get out of one, their plan has been ruined, and two, Deku has to run after them for like 10 minutes. 3, we know that the fight with like Shigaraki probably only took like 10 to 15 minutes the last time. And when last time they had Endeavor with them.
Genus is the last line of defense.
Like,
should go wrong.
This,
Genus's cable is already getting clipped because like his hands already overcame that, so he's already losing resources that he could use to fight.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you can see one breaking in the background of page 6.
Bakugo lost one of his gauntlets. Like,
this game is already lost both her limbs. She got like 2 spares left after this, but
yeah, she already got 2 spares left. Once them, listen, when them spares went out,
what's crazy is the person, they needed to get some spare gauntlets for Bakugo. When you think about
that's
it,
what I'm
so
saying.
he can launch them hoes.
I'm saying Momo definitely needs one lucky bag left. Like, Bakugo needs them gauntlets. I was betting on them gauntlets, and I was like, listen, that's gonna be the thing that holds him down for this fight. He lost one of them already.
I mean, hey, they're gonna have to pull out some. They're gonna have to get some Hatsume upgrades. They're gonna have to pull out something real special. Like, hey, yo, Shawty, I'm
even more scared for Bakugo now that he lost one of his gauntlets. If he doesn't get another one, that means that when he needs to go all out, it's got to be straight, like, full body, like no extra equipment. It's got to be him doing it, and that hurts him. He can't do that forever.
See, what I need is for him to bring back the rolling howitzer we got in the second movie and combine that shit with a cluster shot.
Yeah, I mean, howitzer cluster, we definitely are gonna see that this arc, and that is gonna like be crazy. I like how in the movies that's like Bakugo's finishing attack, like his strongest move, and we rarely see it in the manga. I'm waiting.
Okay.
We see. Dummy.
Tony, all right, Tony you making me laugh with this one. Onigashima raid will fail per Morge the Prophet. Now we have a fortress in the sky with a big bad up there. Coincidence or war will fail confirmed?
I mean, hey, for those One Piece readers, y'all seen what happened last time, though. Yeah. Hey, listen, told you that title will mean everything you think it mean, boy. I told y'all, bro. Y'all can take the letter M and C. It don't guarantee you victory every time, man. I told y'all, boys.
Bro, I was saying that Shigaraki was going to drop UA, but I didn't think that was going to happen until he got his quirks back. It's looking like that's going to happen soon. Like, he destroyed one of the buildings. He's going to destroy that fence that they got. It seems like they got pillars for that. Knock one of those down. He has a way out now. Like bro, the whole fight changed now. Now that he got that attack, the
whole game changed.
Oh, like they are in a terrifying position because the only thing that's like keeping his quirk still negated is the fact that them hands are still attached to his body. Like them hands are still a hand ultimately. But
bro, what is Genos gonna do to that?
Bro.
Right. Like that's why I'm like, dog, the things that are in their favor. Bakugo can use AP shot with.
Well, where you go? Is it me? You. Oh shit! It crashed. Or is that just?
No, he cut out for you too.
Yeah, he cut out for me.
I thought it was me.
No.
Them boys down though.
I'm gonna text him. Oh shit! Oh, let's pick up the ball rolling before we drop.
Them boys. I was about to say them boys is down. Like, because I was gonna say even if Genos wraps the hands with the cable, they could just overgrow on top of it. So he's basically nerfed.
And then like he can slide that like it's not like it's just one big thing. He can slide that shit back if he so pleases.
That's what I'm saying.
Like let's say Genos is like, okay, I'll wrap your shit up. All he gotta do is be like, all right, cool, nigga. Phew. Flip my arm back.
All right, I'm back.
Faster than you can see, and I punch you in your face. Poop. Like
you cut off right when you said Bakugo's AP shot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Bakugo's AP shot. I'm gonna say this and we're gonna wrap up just because my internet's being unstable today. But AP shot pierces through concrete. We know he was toning it down for dealing with humans. And the best thing that we can do here for him is understand that he can use his lethal moves with no regard for human safety because the goal here is to kill Shigaraki. Genos said it's a tomb. Bakugo can use his moves lethally. They can constantly focus on like heavy real damage. Nejire doesn't have to hold back. If fucking Sun Eater ate some fugu today, he can use jellyfish toxin, or not jellyfish, but pufferfish toxin through his tentacles or something like that, which is an extremely potent neurotoxin, stuff like that. And you can eat pufferfish, which is toxic, without dying. It just has to be prepared properly. So depending on how hard they went for this win, you got some options. Like we got lethal options on every character here. Hell, if this man ate a cobra, feed this man a snake or a tarantula. Get him some venom out here and
keep this shit away.
So, but because Shigaraki is a giant target right now. That's the main thing that really works in the favor of like Bakugo and Nejire. They can do giant big blast and they don't have to feel guilty even a little. And hopefully, and it's not like Shigaraki's not gonna feel that pain, right? Like,
hey, be careful what happens when you corner a wild animal.
I'm just saying, if you get half your arms blown off,
I mean, it's just gonna fucking regurgitate and slide back into his body.
Yeah, I'm just saying, he's still capable of feeling pain. Yeah. So he's still gonna have to be like, all right, maybe I don't need to be this big of a target to just be getting blown up repeatedly. Like when Envy fought Mustang.
Oh no!
It was like, oh wait, maybe being in my big form is not it.
Man, listen, peak fiction, man. Oof. Well, let me tell you. But all right, let's go ahead and wrap this up then.
But yeah, let's give a Tarnish final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Yo, this chapter was exactly what it needed to be. My answer was my question was answered. What is going on with Shigaraki's body? If this really is what happens when quirk singularity like starts to take effect, really, I feel like I need more on this. Like, I need either Ujiko to come back to explain. I need to see some other quirk singularity babies. I need more about this. This can't be like the end of this whole quirk singularity plotline. But I'm interested to see where it's going, because what All For One said makes sense to me. Like, because if he can use decay through the hands, I've always wanted to see Shigaraki do something like that. Like, what if he just had more hands? Could he spread decay to those hands? So it seems like he could do that. And if he could, augment his quirks like that, like, okay, so I need more hands to make decay more effective. He could probably do that with other quirks too. So just think about that. He could literally create body parts for other quirks to work, which would be busted. And this Deku Toga thing, look, any chapter Deku's in is just amazing, but I don't know what he's gonna do right now. Like, I kind of want him to just leave, but then that would make Toga go crazy. But she's gonna go crazy either way, because I know he's not gonna say yes. So like, I don't know. Like, I kind of hope the confession happens next week so I can laugh at people, because I know people are gonna be complaining if the confession happens in the middle of a battle, and I want to laugh at the discourse, not join it. But I'll be fine with it. We already got a cover coming next week, so when we get cover, I've been waiting for a cover. I hope we finally get Deku's costume drawn in color. Oh my god! Like,
hey, listen, be careful. Be careful what you wish for. You know, horror coach be wilding out with some bad color schemes.
Yo, listen, if he can't fumble on Deku's final quote unquote costume. Like, if this is supposed to be the final costume, I need like the color scheme to go insane. Like, I just been waiting for a cover in general. I was surprised we haven't gotten one. Like, no color pages, no nothing. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he did that in award. He did that in the last award too. He took like a good minute. Pop that bitch out.
Yeah. Like, when things are starting to ramp up, I'm excited. That's it for me.
All right. Let's see. Bonzu, you still here?
I don't think so. You've been going for a while.
Yeah, I know it's muted. I'm just double checking. All right, East, take us home.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna be chatting too. First things first. Everybody wish I had late birthday to say this, because apparently it was the fucking 3rd of March. I don't know how we missing everybody's goddamn birthday, but everybody shout out to happy birthday, late birthday to say yes. Her thoughts was, tell him I think it's hilarious how Shiggy just circumvented all these precautions to stop decay. I think that shit is absolutely hilarious too. That was say this talk. Also got a few things to address in the chat. That's what I was waiting on, because people were talking, so I didn't want to overcount. So elite flight, I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. So elite, I just call you elite. Fuck it. He says, so East, what we thinking? You still think this ain't the final arc? Like I told you, part 2 is the final arc. It being the final arc of academia portion makes sense, and like the cohesion. Then like part 2, like there would be no more school, because the reason there would be a part 2 is because the heroes lost. If the villains lose, there's nothing niggas trying to see after that. We ain't need no Boruto, no nothing that. As the way Shigaraki is built up, as the ultimate evil, the dynamic of Deku, everything else, there's nothing to add, but only continue what you've already started in this base going into part 2. So there'll be nothing to add, like just cutting everything here. So like I said, till the wheels fall off, I'm staying down no matter what. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give y'all this advice. Win or lose, like part 2, no part 2, stop stressing about it, bro. What difference does it make? Am I going to talk to Horikoshi and test a nigga? Yes, but that's not besides the point. Jokes aside. Are you going to text Horikoshi? Am I going to text Horikoshi? Are we going to tell him, yo, you do this, and he going to listen? Or is what already set in stone, the destiny and the fate that awaits us? A lot of times, this is why I don't do stress. If it's something I can't fix and something I just gotta do, it just is what it is. I don't worry, don't stress. It's going to be what it's going to be. So at the end of the day, destiny is already predetermined for us in this regard, whether this is or this isn't. So stop. Where every time y'all look at the series and everything he does now is through a negative lens, because you are under the assumption that this will never happen, this, that, and the other. Me, I'm just enjoying it and I'm keeping it pushing every week, bro. I'm not stressing. I'm not worrying. Y'all doing this, that, and the other. That's what makes y'all freak out. That's why you can't enjoy things, because you don't properly digest it, because you keep freaking out and you frustrated and you flustered. Just enjoy what it is for what it is, bro. Just enjoy it. This is a long journey we had. It's coming to a culmination of a lot of points. So let's just sit here, take our time and enjoy it and enjoy our food. Like, there's no reason to be going ham every fucking week and frustrating this, that, and the other. Let's just enjoy what we got and, keep it pushing. As far as everything else, man, absolutely great chapter. We transitioned into the toga stuff. Ain't no reason to be. I can't wait to see what my girl got in the store and what the fuck they gonna do with that blood. And last thing before I go, Brandon De La Cruz, I have a question. Why doesn't Horikoshi get Bakugo more fights? Because I just noticed we barely see Bakugo fight any other villain specifically. It's funny you say that, because they complain about the women never getting anything, but Bakugo had a real villain fight as so far. Which is why kind of one of the reasons I hope we need to end for him and he don't die here, because I would like to see him really get to go out too. You can't really unleash your full blast on fucking friends, but you can do it on the enemy you're trying to put down. So yeah. Hey man, appreciate all y'all showing up. Appreciate all the love y'all supporting with us every fucking week. Once again, we will see y'all next week with the announcement of this final arc. Like I've been saying, like whatever comes from here, hey man, it'll be gas either way. At the end of the day, I'm eating, you eating, and we here together. We enjoying this. Appreciate y'all. So, as per usual, we getting ramped up, we getting gassed up, we showing love, and we drinking and getting fucked up to the sunrise and the sunset, nigga. Because who are we? Who I am? Who I be? Undefeated of the East, baby. What it do? Hell, Hori, and appreciate y'all for coming to the church.
All right, y'all. Appreciate everybody that came through today. Tony, see you back in the chat. Spectral Dynamite, Tanisha Greer, Coyote. Notice Coyote has not mentioned any character that he likes. He hasn't gassed any of the Nomus. He's trying to avoid his death flag curse. Smart man. Thanks everybody that came through. Jono Giovanna, Mr. Andrew. Thanks for the super chats. Tony, you too, of course. I know we had at least one more earlier, but I can't see that far back. It is what it is. Sorry, y'all. But I appreciate you all for real. I'm going to be doing my solo review for this chapter, of course. Even with this 13 pages, I think this was a good discussion. Appreciate East, Tarnish, and Bonzu for stopping by for a bit. We celebrate the birthdays of, Bishop Sayez and Bishop Ponzu lately. And it's my baby brother's birthday later this week, actually, now that I think about it. So busy. But appreciate you all. And with that being said, we done.
Wait.
What's up? Wait.
Next chapter comes out Friday.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, since the next chapter comes out Friday, is I know East will be at work. Tarnish, are you gonna be free? Or am I just gonna do like a chapter review and we're gonna have to just go about the day?
Friday, I might not be free. I'm not gonna lie. I might have somewhere to go.
You gassed up Mirko's death, not her living. If you had gassed up her living, Horikoshi would have specifically made sure she was dead this chapter to spite you. It just is what it is, Coyote. So yeah. All right. That's it. Friday, you'll get something from me, whether it's a video or a live reaction. We will see.